Hello, today is Tuesday. It's the 17th of July, 2018. And it's right before 1900 hours. It's 1800 hours and 48 minutes, and that's GMT minus 6. I'm at the Forks in Winnipeg. I'm not the best photographer, but I'm intentionally moving my camera around because I don't want to have it's people's faces, so that's why. Uh, a quick update. I mentioned it on Twitter. I'm going to be doing some traveling in a few weeks. Going to the UK to see my friends. It's been a long time since I've seen them, and so I'm going to spend some time with them hanging out. And then whilst I'm in the UK, I hope to make a trip to Israel. I'm looking forward with a great deal of emotion to being back in the UK and catching up with my friends. I'm also quite keen to get back to Israel and help in any way I can. I'm aware of the new, a legislative bill is going through, the Nation bill. I will correct if I'm wrong. I actually don't know how to switch from this to the internet, so I'll have to follow up. I read the bill, and what the initial version of the bill, I understand there have been some changes. I say with a great deal of emotion. I think I understand what Netanyahu is trying to do, Bibi. I disagree with him politically on, he's right of center, I'm left of center, and I have differed with him on the way in which he conceptualizes things, but the one thing I have always been very respectful of is the way in which he takes responsibility for his role as prime minister, and how he experiences his Jewishness and his Zionism, how he experiences those, particularly around issues of education and issues around security. Now, he's more of a hawk, definitely, than I am. But the impetus for his behavior, I have always believed, was that he felt a great deal of a sense of responsibility. And in that light, again, I will post in the description box the updates I read on the legislation out of Israel. But out of the legislation, the impetus for it, I think, is his desire to caretake and to take care of and to protect. For me, I disagree with the methodology he's using. I think we're in such a hyperbolic state. I think collectively that all world leaders should make a diligent effort to not participate in. Your country is what your country is, and every country has an identity and a brand. And I think that a strong Israel is Israel that defines itself as she chooses to, and most people that seems to be as a Jewish state. And within that construct of self, the state's construct of self, I think it's best for not only Israel, but all of us, if it's continues to be a welcoming country, and I think that's possible. I do think that's possible. I, again, want to stress that my belief is that the little bit I know about BB from observation online, I used to follow him a lot more than I do now. I was literally, everything he did, I followed, I wrote about, because I've always found him to be a very interesting person. So whilst I have, again, disagreed with some of the decisions he's made, I've felt that those decisions were about his sense of responsibility. And I think this bill is again about a sense of responsibility and caretaking. the concern for me about the bill is that, for instance, the the and I will post if that has changed or if I misunderstood. For example, a community can define itself as all Jewish. The reason why I'm concerned about that, not just for collectively what that does to the global community, I'm also thinking about what it also does for Israel and what it does for Jewish people globally. Since Jewish people in most countries, except for Israel, tend to be a minority, I don't ever want that to be a norm in which people can define a neighborhood or community by identities, particular identity: white, black, Muslim, Sikh, Jewish, Catholic. I think we're already in a state. There's always been strain and strife in the world, but the difference now is that because we are visibly connected in ways that we weren't in the past. We have always been connected. We're all interconnected, but we're connected in ways that produce immediacy and a sense of intimacy because we can see immediately the actions of people thousands of miles away due to social media. So I feel like we're already in a hyped up state collectively, globally, in part because of social media. Turn on your iPad, your smartphone, your computer, your laptop, and you can keep abreast of things, again, thousands and thousands of miles away. And because of that, it creates a sense of knowing, an artificial sense of knowing and intimacy that can be good in ways. It offers potentials for people to network, but it also offers people potentials and ways of looking at and judging and creating biases in situations that probably 25, 30 years ago they wouldn't be privy to. So in that light, I'm thinking about Jewish communities, which globally, except in Israel, tend to be a minority. I think about my own lived experience, well, that of my parents, of being African American from the South, and at the time in which they were born, that it was lawful to say people can't live here, or go to school here, or drink from a fountain here unless you look a certain way. So I think at a time when we are connected in ways that are wonderful, but then offer the opportunity for, in some cases, greater strife because there is a heightened sense of quote-unquote knowing. It's more like seeing, because sometimes we don't understand, but there's seeing that I'm concerned, and I'm concerned about any leader that's prominent, and Israel is a very prominent country. It's a small country, but it's very prominent, and people are constantly aware of what the nation does and doesn't do. And I would like to see Bibi look for alternative ways in which to show he cares, and show he's protecting, to show he's keeping his Zionist dream, how he defines it, alive, without participating in a situation that I think ultimately isn't good for Israel, but also globally for marginalized communities, which I think it's fair to say people of Jewish identity, collectively speaking, are minorities in most parts of the world. So I keep saying it because I don't like doing things this way. But I was thinking about the bill today, and I was thinking about Israel today, and I'm looking forward to returning to Israel. And I always find helping in situations and not exacerbating existing strife is a particular challenge I always like to take on board. So I'm looking forward to returning to Israel, and I'm very grateful for the kindness that Israel has shown me over the years, and particularly in 2017. So I think I have a vested interest in the country, and I think I have a right to my opinion, and that opinion would be, I hope that BB, after the bill goes through, if it has gone through, okay, it's hard to pull anything back once it's done, but nevertheless, and here I go being manipulative. He's a smart man. He's a man with great compassion for the community and how he defines community. And in that compassion and concern and responsibility, being manipulative, I'm hoping he can find another way to show he is caring and protecting. So, if I didn't say it before, I did. I'm at the Forks in Winnipeg. The music in the background and what you're seeing is a swing dance. Apparently they have swing dance lessons. I walked by the sign very quickly, but the swing dance lesson today is from 1800 hours to 1900 hours and 30 minutes. That's GMT -6. So you're seeing a little bit more of Winnipeg, which is a city I care very deeply for. So, on that note, this is Debra V. Wilson. I'm in Winnipeg, I'm in the Forks, and I always want to show the diversity in Winnipeg, but I don't do a very good job because I'm like the worst photographer ever. In any case, this is Debra V. Wilson at the Forks in Winnipeg, and this is Tuesday, the 17th of July, 2008. Thank you.